What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. I hope that your day is about as blessed as mine is. I am ready to get into this whole thing that we have come across Dr. Arikana Shihimbore Kwao, who have responded to my last video of her members who were stating that they wanted transparency. They wanted her to actually show and prove that based upon what her promise was for them to get citizenship, that was there anything in writing? Was there anything, as she claimed, there was a proclamation of a decree, and some of the members wanted this to be proven. You know, it's gonna be an interesting video. I'm gonna show you a response. She called me out, called me a Sambo, O'Shea Duke Jackson Sambo, and her members Sambos. And I have some very interesting words I have for her and the rest of the members because we're all family, And I won't belittle her like she belittles people, but I will show you how she belittles people. I might get a little bit of, let's just say, fierce in a sense because of the fact that I'll just get into it. Let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. This is her response to my video, as well as O'Shea Duke Jackson. She mentioned too as well. And I'm going to share with you all to caution you all who are ADI members. Still don't go to Burkina Faso. Now, she makes claim that I'm trying to keep people from going to Africa. If anybody wants people to come to Africa, this woman don't even know who I am. She acts like she has a recollection on the plane, but she misconstrued the whole meeting of what we had on the plane because her story's wrong. She must have been briefed or what have you. You can't even see my channel right, Going Black to Africa. Let me say this too, so people who don't feel as though that I'm disrespecting. She may be an elder to you, she's not an elder to me. Okay? An elder to me is one who has the wisdom of the Most High. His laws, his commandments, his statutes. That's an elder who can give wisdom and knowledge to a people so that they're not screwed by people who don't follow them. That's what I stand for. That's what I live by. And there's nobody can raise their hand and say, go black, scam me. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it because I don't mess with people's money. Because I can guide people along the way and share with people, give consultations. But there's one thing I know, but with my 20 years background of experience of the military, as well as my side traveling around the world, I have enough experience to know some things, and especially about America. And especially about security, international security, unlike Dr. Arikana. She may have set a seat as an ambassador. We're going to get into, she makes reference of being mentioned about her past that she wants to give reasoning why and point fingers at everybody. All her past failures, she points fingers and blames everybody. But we will get into it. This is not to try to, disrespect her. She's only 9 years older than I am. So I'll consider her my sister. Okay? And I got words for my sister. Everybody else give her own titles. Call her what they want to. I'll call her my sister. If she is in with the Most High, the creator of the universe, the one who's got a spirit and will give the spirit to any man who's willing to receive to walk a righteous path for life. That's the one. But if you don't follow that, you're not my sister. And color ain't got nothing to do with it. Not all black folk are kinfolk. That's facts. She's a medical doctor. And if she's a medical doctor, like my wife is a medical doctor, family medicine, just like she is, there's some things that you will know. Biologically, chemistry-wise, DNA-wise, and biblically wise, you know? But I want to get into this, and let's get into it rightfully and respectfully so that I can address what she's put out to remove the ambiguities and the lies that she has shared. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm accountable to the Most High, and I'm going to make sure dang well I will not lie against anybody, because I know the judgment and the consequences that come upon those who do such a thing. So without further ado, let me get into it. Let me go ahead, and we're going to go to her video. I'm going to put pausing in and out of this right here. But I'll be pausing in and out so that I can address some of the things that she has said. Hold 1 second with y'all. Y'all bear with me. I hope all of you all out there are doing well. For you all who are supporting Dr. Arikana, love to you all. I'm not trying to cause division or separation. I have a job to do, and that's protect our people who are coming over to Africa and giving them warnings, giving them information to let them know what to expect. Why would I want to keep a people from coming to the motherland? That is if everybody knows, she doesn't even know who I am. So she doesn't, I guarantee she hasn't even probably watched one video. The woman haven't watched one video, so my thing right here is that, she needs to do her homework. She claims I didn't do my homework, but then, hey, let's get into it. Let's see what she has to say. All righty.
You are encouraging African Americans not to go to Africa. You live in Uganda yourself. There's so many negative things said about Uganda and President Museveni. That didn't stop you from going to Africa. So why are you encouraging others why are you trying to discourage others from going to Africa? The guy for Go Black to Africa, you live in Tanzania. So why are you discouraging others from going to Africa? You are the hypocrites.
Now she claims I'm a hypocrite. I'm discouraging people to go to Africa. This woman don't have a clue who I am. But I've discouraged people from not going to Burkina Faso at this moment in time. I didn't say ever, forever. I said at this moment in time. Why? I will share that here in a minute. And I'm going to show y'all information of what's going on in Burkina Faso and why people shouldn't be rushing to go to Burkina Faso to try to live or get citizenship. I mean, I don't care if you get citizenships, but if you're trying to live there and all that right there, I got to educate you all. See, I do this stuff. She don't do security. She doesn't care about other people's lives if she's trying to put people into a hot fire. She haven't thought about that. Let's continue.
In the olden days during slavery, you would be the Sambos.
I'm a Sambo, she says.
Time when truth is hard.
I'm a Sambo, as she says. That's okay. She can call names.
Many of you, ADDI members and Friends of Africa, have sent me videos that were done by two YouTubers. One is called Go Black to Africa, and the other one is called Kengande. Both videos were saying defamatory things and falsehoods about myself and ADDI. I felt for the benefit of those of you who were not able to attend all the Zoom conferences that we held beginning last year, where we discussed the issue of citizenship for Burkina Faso. As most of you may know, last year, a group of us, we started with over 300 people, but only about 130 negative news about Burkina Faso. I knew better, having been the AU ambassador to the United States.
Let me pause right there. I'm going to repeat what she just said. I'm going to rewind this, what she just said.
As most of you may know, last year, a group of us, we started with over 300 people, but only about 130 were able to make it. The others, they chickened out.
Chickened out. What kind of leader are you? Chicken out? You know what I'm saying? People, look, people, let me tell you something. This woman here is a nasty woman. I'm going to put it out there. How do you tell a people they chicken out? Because of what? They care for their safety? Do you know in the Bible, it was permitted for a man, if they children of Israel going to war, it was permitted for a man that if he felt fearful, that he did not felt that he was up to par to go fight, he was permitted to go back so that he wouldn't discourage other people. But for you to call people chicken out, you see people, y'all follow her if you want to. Oh yeah, just like they followed Jim Jones when he went down to Guyana and all those people died, black people, behind a person who told them there was better land to go to. And these people sat around and followed this person. Well, you can go if you want. I'm not trying to tell you what you should do. What I'm going to do is educate you. Now let's get into this right here, because I'm going to continue with this video, but let me show you some stuff why I am. Let me go ahead and pass on to, let's do this right here real quick. Let's do this right here real quick. Here is a picture here of the article ran by BBC. And let me move this over to the screen here, because I know y'all can't see it. I thought I can flip from tab to tab. But here we got, let me share this. Burkina Faso's army says it foiled major coup plots. This is 22 April 2025. Burkina Faso's military government has said it foiled a major plot to overthrow junta leader Captain Ibrahim Traore, with the army alleging the plotters were based in neighboring Ivory Coast. Security Minister Mahamadou Sana said the coup attempt was led by current and former soldiers working with terrorist leaders. Current and former soldiers. These are people that is in his military, sitting there in the capital. But let's pause right there. Ibrahim Traore did the same thing to his government. He turned around and set a coup and removed the previous president because he felt as though that president wasn't doing enough to stop the terrorists that was in the country. But you, Dr. Arikana, call people chicken and want to send people out of 54 countries, and there are very peaceful countries out here. You want to send a people into a hot zone. You see, people, I love our women, and God made them the way they did in a feminine aspect when it comes to the heart. She's being led with the heart of feelings, wanting to go help. Instead of assessing a situation and the dangers that it has, she'd rather go ahead and be moved by her little her reputation of being a shaker and a mover, and going to wind up taking people into a danger zone, and then call the people who don't go chickens. What kind of leader is this? This woman don't realize she's stepping into a man's game, a man's war, and she doesn't have a clue. And what you want to hear when something goes down? I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. She'll point fingers again. And take no responsibility. After all of these accusations, her being fired from the AU, her position for misappropriation funds. She gives this long story, no accountability. Then she says her staff set her up. They were against her. It was their fault. Now this whole thing, the debacle that happens with the citizenships, and the only thing her member says is that, can you be transparent and show us the proclamation or the decree? Because they don't know who you are. You haven't built a respect, or you haven't built to have honor. It says that you have to earn respect. It's not given. And if people are questioning your moves, you should be willing as a leader to try to show them that you are who you say you are. These people don't know you. Not at all. Let me move on to the next one before we continue on the video. Because see, I have a heart for our people. I'm not trying to send people in danger zones. That's why I've been to 34 African countries, and I tell y'all the report of what it is. And what I'm going to go to now is what the State Department puts out, which, like her, will ridicule and make fun of and say, oh, the America tries to sway our people from not going to these African countries, and they put out these reports so to keep you from going. No, it's not about that. It's about giving you the information. It's your choice if you want to go or not. I personally haven't followed some of the levels of what they've put out, but at least I was knowledgeable. And there are avenues and things I must do that's on there in order to make sure that if something happens to me, my family's notified. They know where I am. But she's not going to tell you that. She's not going to tell you to go on the website. Let's go there. This is your leader. This is your leader for you ADDIs. I'm not going to sit here and try to bash you, but God doggone it. You come after me and talking about I am trying to sway people from coming to Africa, and you call me a sandbone? Let's see how much a sandbone I am to our people. We're going to see, because truly, you're missing the boat and you don't get the understanding. Let me go ahead and let me continue on with this right here. Let me continue on back to this right here. Let me go ahead and type this in. What country in Africa has the most coups? Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, hold one second. Let me go over here. Where we go? Top 10 countries with the most number of, these are attempts. Coups in Africa. The African continent saw a significant increase in coups in the last 3 years, with military figures carrying out takeover in Gabon, Niger, and Burkina Faso, Sudan, etc. Let's go down here. Let's see here. Because to your amazement, you're going to find, drum roll please, let's see here. They keep listing them all together. Drum roll, please. I've already looked it up. You can look it up yourself. While Burkina Faso has had fewer total coup attempts in the same period, which they were talking about, it has the highest number of successful coups, with 9, including 2 in 2022. In addition to the most recent pushers, coups were successfully carried out in Burkina Faso, 66, 74, 80, 82, 83, 87, 2014. A coup was also attempted in 2015. Now, Burkina Faso leads the continent with the most successful coups, with 2. Ibrahim Traoré dismantled his government, and the one prior to him dismantled the government, And it's the military people who's trying to overtake. Always you have somebody who don't like how somebody's doing. As Dr. Arikana states, she's upset because her members, some of her members, don't like the outcome of when she said that they were going to get citizenship and it fell through and they questioned her integrity. And yet she's supporting Ibrahim Traore, which I ain't got no problem with him, not at all. But he dismantled his government because he felt they weren't doing a good job. Now, isn't that him overtaking his leadership? You don't call him a Sambo because he wasn't with the plan of the government. You're gonna jump on his side, who overthrew the government, and yet your own people who's questioning and want you to be transparent, you're gonna turn around and tell them your Sambos, your sellouts, your ops, your chickens, the people who didn't even go. Let me read to you all the quality of a leader. Let me read to you all the quality of a leader. Leadership qualities include a combination of traits such as integrity. You see, you got to have integrity, honesty. You can't be pointing fingers every time you get your hand caught in the cookie jar. You can't blame everybody that it's their fault. Somebody's got to need to wake up and say, hold up, just because you talk about, Pan-Africanism and you talk about Black power, and then you want to use these high, big words as though that you care for your people while you sit on podiums and all that right there, and you ridicule your own people and say that they are not pushing along the so-called efforts and initiatives for the Black cause because they don't agree with you, because they see your record, they see your report card, they see your character reference. Oh, yes, when it starts smelling, people start to ask questions. Integrity. But here's the other thing, clear communication. An effective and a good leader will have. Just telling people that you're going to get your citizenship and put your name on the list, and we're going to go waltz over to Burkina Faso, and we're going to get citizenships because you know what? They said that we can get it. And it fell through. And did you not have the knowledge? Do your homework. You're going to see in the video what she says about me. Did you do your homework to see that was going to be up for vote? But yet you gathered a whole crowd up and want to take them over to Burkina Faso? Strategic vision is what a leader should have. Do you think it's is a strategic vision to take people in a hot zone? When Burkina Faso in the last 6 years, I think it was, I can't remember, I pulled it up, has had 8 years, has had 4 coups. You think you should play? Is that strategic vision? Did you do your homework? Did you check the country out that you're sending people over and want to take the crew over and all that right there? But you could talk around, we drove around, we had no problem because, America put out there on the report that it's a high level war zone and all this. We didn't see any of that. No, because you probably had the president escorting you throughout the state. But look up. When's the last time Americans were held hostage or whatever in Burkina Faso? There was an American woman there just a couple years ago that the terrorist people caught. And some China woman or something like that. But did you do your homework? Not everybody's meant to be a leader because they talk good, y'all. Not everybody's meant to be a leader because they want to talk about Pan-Africanism. Not everybody's meant to be a leader. You want to talk about pro-black power. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Coming from a medical doctor, and I told y'all my background on my military history. I take security very serious because I've worked in it. But some people ain't going to want to take that and they'll disregard it. Oh, come on, y'all, let's just go. Come on into Africa. Effective leaders also demonstrates accountability. We haven't heard no accountability from Dr. Arikana. All we got is excuses. You got fired from this job right here. You tried to do this initiative, Wakanda one, it fell through. Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I'll be down there tomorrow. And I got some chiefs, or some chiefs and some locals and some other people who are going to provide me some information of what happened really. Hold on, y'all, too, because I'm going to show y'all how to go ahead and look up the taxes and all that right there for these nonprofit organizations, the 501c3s, and we're going to pull up ADDIs and see what theirs look like. But an effective leader also demonstrates accountability, empathy, calling your members chickens, not having a care for, they have a care for their safety. Really? Adaptability. First of all, a leader, let me tell y'all, a leader knows how to conduct themselves through the heat of the moment. You see, what I was expecting when the whole thing went shebang was for her to go ahead and do an announcement and say, you know, my brothers and sisters, has been a huge setback and all that there. And you know what? We're going to try to make this right. And for those right there who doesn't want to continue on the journey right there, we'll refund your money and all that right there, right? We'll go ahead and do that. But when people was asking, well, you know what? You know, hold up. How did this happen? You said that the president said he was going to do this. Can you show us that there was some type of signed decree, proclamation? Can you show us some evidence? Because some things are beginning to smell bad. And we want to go along this journey with you, but can you at least build confidence in us that you have integrity? Or is this assumptions? Or what have you? And to address her question about whether or not she had got to meet President Traore, I did a video. I know she met the guy. When I made a reference in my video was the fact that, did anybody see her shake hands with him? Did anybody see that she actually was face to face with him? I was talking about like in his Oval Office, signing paperwork showing that this was going to happen. But then you say that the parliament decided to vote against that, and that yet they're going to go ahead and give so-called permanent residency. Permanent residency. Okay, all right. That's none of my business. But my platform, you can't tell me who I can put on my platform and let them have a voice. And if you're on the hot seat, be a leader to be able to address it. Not point fingers and shame and insults and guilt towards people. That sounds familiar for guys we know who we say that, who does that all the time. But listen to this right here. Has the ability to inspire and motivate their team. These qualities help leaders build trust, make informed decisions, and guide their team towards shared goals. See, being in the military, leaders had to do that. I've been leaders in many of my assignments that I've been to. And when your character's questioned, you lay out it on the line and prove it. But Dr. Arikana has a total different way. Being her daughter, she's not a leader to me. Oh, you can go ahead and get people to follow you. Anybody can get followers. Look at YouTube. You got so many people who follow anything. Instagram, you can go ahead and follow. You can do whatever, this and that. Doesn't make you a leader. Leader has empathy, integrity. They have adaptability. These are leaders. Don't get moved by words, y'all. Don't get moved by people just because they tickle your ear. You feel as though that they are the one for you. No, I'm the one who's going to assess the situation. I'm going to check. I'm going to do a market analysis. I'm going to go around and check to see. I'm going to put my eyes and my ears to the ground, and I'm coming back with a report. Now let's get into it. Let's get into what did she tell her members this right here, what we're going to go to. Okay, let's go to the State Department's website. This is very important. Now she ridicules it. She ridicules this. Let me educate my brothers and sisters right here. This is called travel.state.gov. This is a State Department website that will give you And you can go up here to travel.state.gov, which I'm going to go ahead into so that you can see how to navigate through it. So y'all ain't gonna get this education unless the person's a leader and they care about your travels. I've done this many times on my channel to people to let them know this is what you got to do. So you go to travel.state.gov, and this is going to pull up, brothers and sisters. This is going to pull up in this right here website. No matter where you travel around the world, the U.S. State Department is going to give you a report of this place. They're going to tell you about do you need visa to enter in? They're going to tell you about if there's any hostility. They're going to give it a level of security, of alert, so that you know what you're about to walk into. Okay? Now they have on here, gets passports, international travel information, get your U.S. visa, U.S. citizens, travelers. This, please enroll in a step.state.gov to receive alerts, ensure you can be located in an emergency. You should put your name on their database. So if something pops off, you get an alert. And guess what? On this form that you fill out, you put your family's name on there, your nearest loved one, the phone number, email addresses, so that they are contacted and they know what's going on. But let me give y'all a little information. Let's go to Burkina Faso. Now she's going to tell you all, oh, they put reports out and all that right there, and it's not accurate, or they don't, they just want to go ahead and they want to make Africa look bad, or all this right here. Look, enter at your own risk. But we're going to go ahead and look at Burkina Faso. And what do they have? It's in red. These are the levels right here. Level 1 is exercise, number precaution. Exercise number 2, exercise increase caution. 3, consider traveling. 4, do not travel. Now, over here, it's in red. This right here was updated on April the 16th, 2025. It has here, do not travel to Burkina Faso for any reason due to terrorism, crime, and kidnapping. Now, it said you can travel wherever you want to, but I'm going to give you some disclaimers if you do so. Now, I wonder if she told her members this. Country summary. Terrorist organizations continue to plan and conduct terrorist activities throughout Burkina Faso. Terrorism. Terrorists may attack anywhere with little or no warning and may utilize various tactics, including the use of common, commercially available items or the use of kidnapping for ransom. Targets may include, but are not limited to, hotels, restaurants, police stations, custom offices, areas or near mining sites, places of worship, military posts, schools. Now, I just showed you all Burkina Faso leads Africa in the most coups started, as well as the last 2 coups that were there because of Ibrahim Traoré felt that his government was not addressing the terrorist acts that were going on in his country. Because terrorist acts there are serious and they are killing people. But because of your feminine spirit that you have, all praises to the Most High, who has given us some of our women that. I'm going to say some. You want to help, and you want to care, and you want to give. Ain't no time for that, y'all. You better kick in your masculine energy, and you're going to say, not at this time. There are too many other countries that are stable, sitting on a solid foundation with peace. Nobody's trying to sway nobody coming to Africa. I said Burkina Faso at this time. Now, listen to this. This is very important, family. Visit the U.S. State Department country reports on terrorism to learn more. But let's get down here to this. All right. You got to read through this. It says, if you decide to travel to Burkina Faso, visit our website for travel to high-risk areas. Let's click on that. Now, this says right here, right? Local laws and U.S. assistance in high-risk countries. It goes on and tells you about, the local laws. You got to follow the local laws and right there. But it says before you go to a high-risk area, you need to enroll into the State Department's Smart Travelers Enrollment Program. That's what I was telling you about. You need to enroll into that. You need to develop a communication plan to your loved ones. That's one means of it. Share important documents. They give you all this information that you need to know. Because there's been many people in different countries when things kicked off and they had to do evacuations And guess who they take first? They take the U.S. Embassy employees first. They take the government officials first. And if you're in the area that it says right here, travel information for high risk people, listen to this right here. Hold on a second. Let me go back up here. In our travel advisory, we suggest you do not travel to high-risk destinations. These places are dangerous. By visiting, you may be putting yourself at a high risk, and we may have limited ability to help you. Actually, there's one day they say they won't help you. We have limited or no ability to help you in many high-risk destinations, even during an emergency. The United States does not have a diplomatic or consular presence in some areas, or we may need to suspend services for U.S. citizens with very short notice. We cannot provide any consular services in most of these places. We may have limited or no ability to help you if there is a crisis in the country you are visiting. Please review our crisis response evacuation information on what we can and cannot do in a crisis. It may be too unsafe for you to travel within the areas to seek assistance, including travel to the U.S. Embassy or consulate. Okay, let's get back out of this. We're going to continue on the video because she called me Sambo, O'Shea Duke Jackson Sambo, her member Sambo, and called the people who decided they weren't going to go on a journey to Burkina Faso last year chickens. Unbelievable. What you got fired from? So she got through her trip without any type of issues, and then she thinks that's going to be the case all the time. Are you serious? When the president already knew on high alert that he had guests coming and they were going to be probably assisted with some military force. Unbelievable. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I got to go back here. Let me go back because I forgot. I got to put this on this video. Let me go back. Y'all have to excuse me. Here. There we go.
Terrorists, we would stop at various places and have lunch and or sometimes just to stretch our legs. Very safe trip between Ouagadougou and Bobo Dioulasso. We spent 3 days in Bobo Dioulasso. Again, back on the road, we came back and we drove back another 5 to 8 hours because we were stopping. It's generally a 5-hour journey, but because we were stopping, it took a little bit longer. Spent a few more days in Ouagadougou, had an absolute wonderful time. Many of us who were traveling and let them know and I introduced them to these four, we were able to make sure that they were
talking about a trip.
Mobilizing African diaspora. Beginning end of last year, we had Zooms where we had people from the embassy come talk to us about this decision from the president and the offer that we had been given as ADDI members. The embassy addressed us, starting with the acting ambassador, Mr. Dr. Buddha, who addressed us while he was the acting ambassador, followed by when the new ambassador came in, His Excellency General Kasum Kalibali. He also came after he took over and addressed us, and we talked about the citizenship program. People who had questions, they asked their questions, and so we continued to work on our plan. Initially, we didn't have a date because the government was working on a date that they felt would be most appropriate. And then eventually they gave us a date in November because there is a program on the 1st, I believe, and 2nd of November that they want us to be part of. So that's how the date was set for those the week before and the week after, time around those 3 days where the government is having its program that they wanted the diaspora to participate. Again, we continued to have Zooms. We would update the ADDI members. We would share with them the information. We would talk about Burkina Faso. And so it was. We were planning on going to Burkina Faso to get citizenship. People were expected to send in their clearance, security clearance. People were supposed to bring in their passports and all the necessary documentation that you could use if you're going to be getting citizenship.
Hey, I'm Mike, part of the Instadoodle team. Now let me show you what we do here.
To be given the permanent residency. And then once they can show that they're a home or they have started a business, they can also have a short pathway to getting their citizenship. But that was the decision that the parliament had made. It was kind of hard for me initially because everybody was geared up towards going for the citizenship. Even the embassy itself, they were very disappointed because they worked very hard to make this trip a possibility. And so we all got over our initial shock. But slowly as we began to process it and begin to really understand the decision that the parliament made, there is some reasoning behind taking that two-process pathway. But be it as it may, I got the call from the ambassador on a Friday, and I called a meeting with my team on Sunday. We met and I advised them of what my conversation with the ambassador, and then this decision was made that we must let those on the list know that there has been a change, and it was a parliamentary decision, and that it was completely out of our hands. So we called for a meeting with all the people on the list, and on Monday we had a meeting in the evening where we updated everyone about the process. People were upset, some of them were crying, and I understand fully because I also had gone through that when I got the news from the ambassador. But be it as it may, this was a parliamentary decision. It is a government, it is a country. They can make their decisions, as they see fit. And of course, it's a parliament. It's not one person who is making that decision. So I'm sure there was a vote. Different people had different understandings of what it meant to have the diaspora coming to Burkina Faso. But be it as it may, this is where we are. And the process goes on. We offered everybody that doesn't want to go, those who have paid their $500 registration fee, they're welcome to have it back. Those who have paid their $1 a day for Africa, which is the $365, we just prorate that and refund you whatever the difference is.
Okay, y'all got it on the video. She said you're going to be refunded. For those members who wanted to go ahead and get their money refunded, you heard it here first. She said it from out of her mouth.
And so that process is going on for those who have decided they don't want to go. Then last week, I started getting videos being sent to me.
Here we go.
The first one was from Kangande. O'Shea, I think O'Shea Duke Jackson is supposed to be the guy, an African American who was going on and on about Ambassador Chombori is shamming the Black Americans, inviting them to go to the West Country in Africa, Burkina Faso, a country that's riddled with terrorists, and also he doesn't know why everybody is putting Traore on a pedestal, and anyway, he was going to reserve his comments and his feelings about Traore, but he was just dogging me. I was scamming people. Well, for those who are calling $500 scamming you, let me tell you what that $500 covers. And this, we had a Zoom meeting where we broke down what everybody was going to get for the $500. We have events that we're going to be attending. We have activities throughout the city of Ouagadougou that we're going to be attending. Transportation is needed. transporting people. We also, so the $500 is going to cover transportation. Secondly, the transportation, everybody who's attending is going to receive a backpack, a very nice backpack, with President Traore's photo or image on it, the map of Burkina Faso and ADDI. The backpack is also going to have a polo shirt, a t-shirt, actually 2 polo shirts, one white, one red, and a beret and a lanyard. We're also going to cover 2 dinners at a price of $50 per person per dinner. That was budgeted into that 500. We're also going to have entertainment every night with DJs who have to be paid. All that to be in Burkina Faso for 2 weeks and be transported and be entertained for $500. We looked into finding out how much, what is the cheapest you can get transport for in Burkina Faso. We're looking at about $500 a day. If you calculated what it would cost to ferry people around and attend all these activities, the conference hall that we're going to be renting is costing a lot of money. We have to buy teas and coffees and water throughout the entire time that we are using the conference center. The speakers have to be paid for, transportation. It's a lot that we are doing, and that $500 is not even covering it. Initially, my team came up with 1,000. And I said, no, guys, that's too much. Let's cut it in half, but let's see if we can fundraise for the difference in order to make it affordable for more people. And now, here we have Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson, accusing me of scamming Black Americans and also getting them to go to a country that is the worst country in Africa. A country that has a leader who has shown us what it means to stand up and defend your turf. Mr. O'Shea Jackson is calling him the worst leader and the worst country in Africa. I am not scamming anybody. Nobody is forcing anybody to go anywhere. If you don't want to go to Burkina Faso, you don't have to go to Burkina Faso. Yes, we started with citizenship, but the government, the parliament changed their mind. They're a sovereign nation. They're ruling through their parliament. The parliament made the decision, we have to abide by it. This is completely out of ADDI. So for Mr. Jackson to accuse me of scamming Black Americans by taking them home, by paving a way for them to go home. Jews go home to Israel. Why do Black people go? These people, slaves, they were taken out of Africa against their will. Over 400 years, this wrong has not been righted. At what point are we going to anchor the children of Africa and give them a home? Let them behave just like other races. They should be anchored by where they come from. And for Black Americans, it is Africa. Let's go home. Let's go visit Africa. We're not asking you to go live there. We're simply saying there's something anchoring by knowing where you come from. That is all I'm trying to do. And if that's called scamming people, then I'm guilty as charged. But I will not stop, because the children of Africa must go home. And then comes Mr., I don't know his name, but he goes with the YouTube called Going Black to Africa. He claims he met me. I was walking to my seat in a plane coming out of Harare. He happened to have already sat down. He got up, he noticed me, he got up and he introduced himself. And he said something about wanting to interview me, and he gave my VP his card. That was the end of our conversation. But now he tells people he met with me and we had a meeting and we talked about this and we talked about that. How do we have a serious meeting when I'm walking to my seat in the plane?
Let me pause right there, y'all. Let me pause right there, because I'm going to put that lie right there on the so-called seat. Let's go to the other video that I did, And I'm going to go ahead and explain to y'all the truth of the matter. She doesn't even recall. She really doesn't. Somebody might have told her, oh, yeah, you know, we met on the plane. Let me go ahead and just tell y'all how the situation went. First and foremost, okay, I met Dr. Eric. No, I'm going to the video. This is what I said. Let us see here. Hold 1 second, y'all. Hold 1 second. What's this channel? Okay. All right. Let me go back over here. Let me share with you all what I said the other night, and what she recollects definitely is not. Let me just tell y'all. I was in Zimbabwe and I was on a plane. So I was walking on the plane going to my chair, my seat. 4 guys that was with her, I didn't even notice her, but 4 guys said, hey, go back to Africa. I'm like, hey, what's up, fella? What's up? What's up? I saw her sitting down. I said, hey, I know you. I couldn't remember her name, but one of the guys was like, yeah, it's Dr. Arikana, you know, Chimbori, you know, Hoel, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to interview you. All this about she's saying that I told people that we talked about this and meeting about that and all this, right? That's far from the truth. Far from the truth. But just check this out. What did I say on the video the other day? Listen what I said. Dr. Arikana, I've met personally, and I have no qualms with her. So I'm going to put a disclaimer out first. Why am I doing this? But first, I believe she is to my knowing, only meeting her one time personally on an aircraft in Zimbabwe with her and her staff. We had a great meeting. I was supposed to interview her while I was there in Zimbabwe, but due to her schedule, I was unable to do that. That was the last I've spoken to her from her. Sent many other emails trying to do an interview like this on a stream live, but never got any response. But I choose to do this just like Dr. Arikana does for herself, and that is bringing exposure to those who may be a detriment to our community. So that's all I said about meeting her. Now, where she gets all that other stuff at about he's going around telling people that we met and we had a meeting out with, and I'm just trying to sit in my seat. But they say our memory goes as we get older, you know. I mean, it does, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, she doesn't recollect it. She doesn't even know who I am, you know. I mean, hey, the woman is, you know, very busy woman, and that's okay, but don't speak on stuff that you can't recollect, especially if you're going to talk about me, because I mean, you got to get it right. You got to get it right, you know. But let me go ahead and continue with her video. So I just want to clear that up right there. I did not say what she said I said. Let's see here.
But be it as it may, he calls people up and we had a meeting and we talked about this and we talked about that. How do we have a serious meeting when I'm walking to my seat in the plane? But be it as it may, he calls people up and wants to give people an opportunity to talk about ADDI and Ambassador Arikana Chiyombori Kwao.
Pause. I haven't called nobody up. I get email after emails after emails of people who've been scammed or taken advantage of, misled, misrepresented, and they want me to do videos. I've said in my previous video, before I start my last video, I said I was not going to be doing any more of these type of videos. But because of the fact that these people who were going to Burkina Faso and the citizenship had become to an end, I said, let me give these people an opportunity to speak, because what they were requesting of her was to address their questions. And that was, they wanted transparency from her. She said there was a decree written. She said there was a proclamation from the president. They were asking, can we see it? And apparently they were not answered. She did not address them. And so I put them on my channel to put their voices out there so that it can get to her. But what does she do in this video? She blames, she sits there and calls names, and she sits there and tries to belittle and demean people. That's what she does. She doesn't have the leadership qualities. She may be a very good speaker in talking about the injustices against our people from other nations of people, but doesn't make you a leader. God doggone it. If I've been a leader, and I'm gonna tell you, if my integrity is questioned, I'm gonna lay out the carpet and show you my integrity. If I said I'm doing something, I'm gonna show you the proof. I'm gonna hand you the receipts. I'm not gonna be talking out the side of my neck and give you a story that I can't validate. No, it's receipts. Give the people what they asked for.
Well, here comes this girl who claimed.
Oh, let me say. So she says that I called all these people. I don't call nobody up to try to. No. This is very hard for me to do against our own people, to sit here and say that, hey, there's some issues going on ADDI. I haven't even told her. I haven't said the woman's a scammer. I don't know that woman. I haven't said this woman's taking advantage of people. This is what her members have said. I haven't said that she's misrepresented. I know that I've been on the Zooms. I've seen the literature that she stated that people will get citizenships. And what she said was that it has basically been signed, sealed, and delivered. People are getting citizenships. But to her surprise, as she says, the parliament turned around and they voted against giving out citizenships, not just to ADI, but anybody, period. My thing is, step up, leader, and address your people. Why? Because what you're doing is what your members are doing is what Ibrahim Traore did, except for he overtook the government and kicked the president out. Now, where's the leadership in that? You're going to call him a Sambone? You're going to call him ops? You're going to call him other names? No, he did what he felt was right. He probably didn't get the answers that he wanted as a military man who's putting his life on the line. So he decided to take measure in his own hands. And you are supporting that man, but you won't support your members who's going to question you? How dare you? Let's continue.
To be a representative of ADDI in Burkina Faso. She simply paid a dollar a day for Africa, $365 in April of this year.
So she's talking about the woman that was on my channel who was talking about she moved to Burkina Faso. And so now she's laying out this whole thing that, she became a member in April this year. She got stuck there. She was asking for money. And I think she's got it mixed up with another woman, because I got another email from a woman who's got an asylum. I won't mention no names, but she got an asylum from America to Burkina Faso and lives there in Burkina Faso with an asylum. That might be the woman she's talking about. But she ain't doing her homework. She's only getting information probably by her PRs or her advisors and stuff like that. But you got to make sure your facts are straight.
And the police had to be.
I'm going to fast.
You went to Burkina Faso because of aid. You know you went to Burkina Faso. Knabi gentleman was organizing our on the 19th.
Let me just fast
to be an ADDI representative in Burkina Faso. They're lying. And that young woman is one of them. She knows nothing about ADDI. She went Burkina Faso on her own. But the guy, for going back to Africa, picks up on her and doesn't do any homework to find out who she is.
I didn't do no homework. I made sure every last one of them, they sent me, See, I'm going to show you receipts. I ain't got no reason to lie. These people sent me email after they sent me email after email. They sent me text messages. They sent me videos. They sent me more videos, links, Zoom meetings, everything. These people sent me all that because I said I must have at least 3 people to validate. I don't run off of one person because the good Lord told me there must be 2 or 3 witnesses to establish a matter. So there was 3 people they came up with, and every last one of them sent me information after information after information. And I had to do my research. Now, let me say this and put this out there. This ain't the only complaint I got from people from ADDI. I got complaints back in February. People talking about they were requesting for refund and weren't getting it. So this ain't the first time I've heard anything about no ADDI. I said good things about ADDI. I think it's a good initiative. It's just that they don't like when I say that don't go to Burkina Faso at this time. Let the government get established, because I'm telling you all, the French ain't through with them. America ain't through with them. They're coming. But she's not going to listen to a man who's been in the military and knows a little bit about, about coups and know about some things that goes on behind the scenes. No, she wants to go because she got a warm, tickly feeling that, get my charger for me, please. That's on my bedroom for me, please. She wants to, as she says, waltz people, huh? My cell phone. She wants to just to waltz on into Burkina Faso. It's like nothing is done, and like there's not going to be any backlash. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is not a leader. Leaders don't do that. You have to assess the situation. You must know that your people that you're taking with you. If you don't care about their lives and you care about nothing but getting photos taken and programs, you're on people's platforms and you just coming up with all these ideas. But what has flourished though? Please tell me, what has flourished? Has anything flourished? The Wakanda one failed. Being an ambassador to AU, they said that you had misappropriated funds. You blame that on them. We can get into the other initiatives that you used. You said that you used their name and try to get funds, and you didn't use it for programs that they told you you're supposed to use it for. This is not us telling lies on you. This is out in public. This is the public view of people get to read and see what happened. You got your side of the story you're telling, but there's always another side.
If you didn't have money, why did you go to Burkina Faso if you can't afford even a place where you're staying? We had reached out to somebody in Burkina Faso to see if ADDI can help you. Why did you go to Burkina Faso if you can't afford it? And Going Black to Africa picks on that one, and what she says, he calls it gospel truth. And here comes...
See, now, come on, I picked that one. I didn't look for them. They looked for me. And why not, Dr. Arikana? Why can't they have a voice? You got a voice. You talk about the system. You talk about the AU. You talk about African presidents. You talk about African countries. You talk about everybody, but nobody else can talk. What you're Miss what? Goody two shoes that you're off limits? Nah, it don't work that way. You're going to take the brunt, especially you want to lead people into a burning house. You have some accountability and you need to give people the answers that they ask for. You can't just overlook and just go ahead and just dog people out and call them names, be dismissive. Come on, it's people. It is amazing how we gravitate to people who are not even qualified for certain positions. They're qualified. I mean, I'm not saying she can't go talk and do whatever she wants to. I'm talking about she better get some security people who's got some backgrounds and strategically can and navigate her people around in safe places.
And Mr. Jason Brian Chapman, he says he's a magistrate. Were with me when I stood.
I'm going to fast forward.
Procrastination isn't your fault. A broke mentality is often fueled.
Next to President Traore, and we did a group picture in nations that I never went to Burkina Faso, that I've never, who saw me, who were in the room when I addressed President Traore who were with me when I stood next to President Traore and we did a group picture in front of the palace. And you have the audacity to say I'm lying about going to Burkina Faso. Why would I do that? Furthermore, ADDI is made up of volunteers. Volunteers who have known me since I was at the AU. Volunteers who understand what was done to me. Volunteers who know the truth. One of the volunteers who was at the AU with me, when I was leaving, she said, Ambassador, you're not leaving me with these evil people. I've seen what they've done to you. I had no business taking any money from AU. I had no money. I lived in my own house, 10,000 square feet house. And you gave me $3,000 housing allowance. Where would you live in DC for $3,000? When the chairman of the African Union first came to meet with President Trump, the chief of staff was not having challenges getting them on the plane that would have allowed him to come to Washington. And why they were booking his flight 5 days before departure, I do not know. But I consistently use my own credit card. People. And when
She's just talking about, she's patting herself on the back as though that this right here covers up the issues that she's had with her members. And you know, I really don't care to even go through all that, because you all can go to Make Africa Great and you can go ahead and watch this whole video. But we're going to continue when she gets back on accusing and calling names.
Don't you have a Miss AU? A big event in Washington. I left a check for the deposit. Was part of a fundraising team that for an event that we, a group of volunteers, we meet and spend as much time as we do as volunteers, not being paid, so we can scam people. What an insult. If you wanted to know the truth, you could have just called me. Yeah, Ambassador, can you talk? Can we talk?
I have reached out, emails and all to them. I've never got a response back. How we gonna call you? What's your number? What's her number? I don't know her number. You know, she's gonna sit there and tell you that. Oh, you could have reached out and called me. Oh no, I've sent emails and no response.
I could have talked to you. I could have spoken to you. But instead, it's more fun just spreading falsehoods.
These type of people here are like, you know, how we have had horrific people in our families, you know, back in the day when, you know, you knew you had an uncle who went around and did inappropriate things to the boys or girls or aunties or cousins and stuff. And then your family says, puts a blind eye to it and say, hey, don't even, just keep out, don't even say nothing. People act like you're not, if people have a complaint, you're not supposed to say something. Then all of a sudden you're a sellout. Why not you? I mean, you know, pull up your bootstraps. You want to be a leader, you got to go ahead and get ready for the war. Your people are going to blame you for some things, and you are going to have to face up to it. Pointing fingers and being dismissive and calling people names and all these other things doesn't get you anywhere. Trying to show that you gave money for this or that does not prove that you are a leader that can be able to withstand a storm. When your people ask you to validate, to be able to show and prove that you actually had a signed proclamation or a decree from the president, because they don't know you.
To the people and creating confusion among the people. The self-hate among us has got to stop.
Would you tell Ibrahim Traore that when he overtook his government? Would you tell him that he was not satisfied with the president? Would you tell the president that he threw out, who threw his president out? Y'all go look at Burkina Faso, please. Just go look at Burkina Faso. All these coups around. Ain't nobody happy. But she wants to get on her members, but support a man, which that's his business. He felt he had to do what he had to do. Everybody went and supported Ibrahim because he was kicking out the French. But if you want to talk about what she's saying is that well, oh, there's sick people and people aren't loyal and people aren't this and that. Well, then what about Abraham then? What about him? I mean, he got sick and tired of the fact dealing with these daggone terrorists and nothing was being done. So my thing is this right here is that the people who've made a complaint is no different than Ibrahim Traore. There's no different than you who complains about the AU who got rid of you. There's no different. Complaints, being dissatisfied, all of that, it exists in this world. The question is, can leaders address those issues? And if they can't, people are going to take matters in their own hands and do what they got to do to be heard.
How long are we going to continue to self-hate? How long?
Okay, Martin Luther King.
Are you sure that was the real ambassador of Burkina Faso to the US? My people, we need to grow up. Are we serious about what we need to do as a people? Or are we going to continue to be used as instruments of our own self-destruction? Mr. Jackson, you are encouraging African Americans not to go to Africa. You live in Uganda yourself. There's so many negative things said about Uganda and President Museveni. That didn't stop you from going to Africa. So why are you encouraging others why are you trying to discourage others from going to Africa? The guy for Go Black to Africa, you live in Tanzania. So why are you discouraging others from going to Africa? You are the hypocrites. In the olden days during slavery, you would be the Sambos.
See, guilt, shame, and the need to be right. That's what these type of people do. This is what this type of people do. You can call the names, but the question is, what about you? It doesn't take from the situation that you got members who asked you to prove yourself, prove your integrity. You didn't do it. You can't produce the proof. You can call me Sambo all day long because I know I have, by the people, the thousands of people who have said they made it to Africa because of my videos. I was born in Africa. Why would I try to keep people from coming to Africa? No. Burkina Faso at this time, I believe, from my knowledge, my information, it's not a good time to go to Burkina Faso. And what happens when something goes astray or awry? They're coming for you. They're coming for you. If you want blood on your hands and you can be able to sleep a comfortable night, that's your business. But people who are listening to me at this right here, I'll say it again, do not try to live in Burkina Faso. I ain't saying about going to visit. Don't be trying to go to live. You're going to wind up opening up businesses and all that right there. And that government is not stable yet. You're going to wind up losing your investments, your money, your time. If something goes down and you got to leave. And what you think is going to happen? You think the locals going to love you enough to let that sit over there with all your goods and everything while it sits vacant? Oh, no. We already know the country is in desperate need. People are going to welcome themselves to what you got. This is a matter of fact. I've seen it. I've been to 34 African countries. I've been to a whole lot of countries in this world. And I see when people are desperate, when they're in need of food, when they're starving and hungry and thirsty. I've seen it.
People who are not understanding and appreciating a good thing when it's being done. I don't need to steal from anyone. I don't need to scam anyone. This is about going home. This is about righting a wrong.
54 countries and you pick Burkina Faso. 54 countries. Ghana's right next door. It's a very peaceful country. It's been very peaceful for all these years. Very peaceful country, right next door. Why Burkina Faso? Because your heart goes out to it. He is riding the wave of notoriety and got his name is all over the place, and you want to come in and you want to be part of that. What better way to get your name out there? With a disregard of the people's safety? I tell you, no, it just shouldn't happen.
If you don't want to go to Africa, you don't have to. But the funny thing is, you two are already in Africa. So why are you discouraging others from going to Africa?
She don't know what she's talking about. Discourage. Why y'all two, you O'Shea Dukes and Go Black to Africa, discouraging people to go to Africa? Ain't nobody said don't come to no Africa. I know I haven't. And my man O'Shea Duke Jackson, hey, he tells you the truth what's going on in Africa. He tells you the truth. So it's not about discouraging people coming to Africa. There's 54 countries. I tell people, find the one that you can get in to fit in. There's many of them. And I do consultations and I help people come move to Africa. Go Black to Africa. I didn't say get out of Africa. Go back to America. Come on. This woman don't even know me. But that's all right, though. I'll excuse her for her ignorance. But I'll say again, she's leading by her emotions. And you know what? That gets people in trouble. Now, let me move on here. Let me hear what she got to say real quick.
Shame on you.
She want to say shame.
Shame on you, Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shame on you, Jason Brian Chapman. And Mr. Chapman, you had the audacity.
I'm going to move on from there. And I want to show you all. If you're going to get yourself involved in any nonprofit organization, 501c3s or whatever, I'm going to take you to the website, and then you're going to be able to go ahead and help yourself by seeing their IRS statements to see what they reported to the IRS as far as their so-called mission and also their funds. Let's go into that. Righty here. 1 second. Okay. What I want to do, share this with you all here. This right here is a 2023 Form 990 return of organization exemption from income tax. And what you can do here is you can go to apps.irs.gov and you can type in that organization name and you can find some information out about the organization. Let me copy this and go to the other page so you guys can see what it looks like. Alrighty. Copy. Better yet, I'm gonna stay right here though first. Let me finish this up. All right. So we see here African Diaspora Development Institute, right? This is their tax employee ID number. This right here is the street, city of where they are claiming that this is the address of their organization, the name of their organization, and a principal officer, which is Dr. Arikana, and it has the Gallatin, Tennessee. It's a 501c3 organization. Form of organization is association. And then we get down to some of the nitty gritties of what I like to see is numbers. You know, they got contribution and grants for that year. They said 85,000. Goes on here, talks about expenses and how much they put a revenue less expenses was negative in the whole. Prior year 2022 was 66,000. It talks the signature of the officer who prepared the form. Excuse me. I keep saying taxes. We can go on and it asks an array of questions, a checklist that's required for their schedule. It gives you all that there. Y'all can thumb through all this right here. It gets down to all those questions. It then has here your officers, directors, trustees, key employees, highest compensation employees. You got average hours per week. They have her as 40 hours a week. Benson Kasu, who's 5 hours. Damian Cook, 30 hours a week. And then they have compensations, 0. We'll go down to other questions they ask. They get down here now to you guys who are members. They're going to report. Statement of revenue. They got membership dues, 9,513. Fundraising events, 40,000. Now hold up. You know, membership dues was 9,513. I love numbers. And they reported that, according to her, $365 for membership, right? My math serves me correctly. That's about 26 members. Let's do the math here. Let's see. $365. Oh, excuse me. 9,513 divided by, not 9,513 divided by $65 equals, hold on a second. Let me do it again. I made a mistake. Why is this thing clearing? 9,513 divided by 365. Why is this thing going haywire? Locking up or something. But anyway, 26 members. 9,513. Let's check it. Yeah, this thing right here keeps seizing up. Yeah. Divided by 365. 26. So in 2023, if the membership dues is $365 a year, they're saying that they only had 26 members. I don't know. Just that stuck out to me because I do numbers. So this is the rest of the form, and public charity status, public support. It goes on and on. But let's go to the website. Hold on 1 second here. You guys got to know this when you get involved with some things. This is the website right here, the IRS. This is their website, and then you can go into checking for nonprofit organizations. Yeah, let's see. Check federal tax. No. I'm trying to think how I got to it. Employee getting in. Forms and stuff. Get your tax lawyers. Anyway, y'all have to go through this right here. It is. Okay, here we go. I just typed in nonprofit search, and it says tax exempt organization search. Click on that. And then tax exempt organization search, bulk data downloads, exempt organizations, business master file extract. Let's go here. Tax exempt organization search tool. Then you're going to go here to search for tax exempt organizations. And then here, you're going to go down and click in organization name. And then you're going to put the organization name, African Diaspora Development Institute. And then you're going to hit search. For those who want transparency. This is public record, y'all. And really, the organization should be sending you all the information, letting y'all know all this right here. So we have the Africa Diaspora Development shows up right here. And then they got all these, the Form 990s here, which you can click on. And it shows tax period 2022. Let me go back. We got copies of returns. So you have 2020, 21, 23, 24 probably haven't posted yet because it's last year. And you just click on this. And you click on it and you can put a copy of the return. And it pops up that information. Public records, you all. If you want to get yourself involved in any nonprofit organizations, see if get some information, see what monies they might be, what monies they may have, or what they're claiming, and all that stuff right there. Here you go. There you go. Let me come back to you all. So I say all that, and I say my final words to Dr. Arikana. My sister, I have love for you. I won't call you no names. I'm not going to demean you, even though I did say that you're nasty. To call a people who was not going on the trip with you all chickens is despicable, because they cared about their welfare, their safety. They thought it was not maybe the right time for them. And then you want to call those your people who went troopers, like you are, building their egos. This is not a leader. And I say that with all the love I got that the Most High has given me. But brothers and sisters who are listening to me, I hope that's the educational, that I showed you how to get to the State Department's website. I showed you how to get to the 5013 through the IRS website. I showed you that Burkina Faso leads with coups in Africa. Out of the 54 countries, it's had the most successful coups, 2 in 1 year. I've showed you all that, what a leader is, their qualities that they have, and what they should display. They don't throw guilt, insults, and a need to be right on a people. They don't throw casting names and blames. A leader steps up through the hardest of times, even when your people lose faith. Believe me, I've been in wars, and we question our authorities above us, like, what's going on? And when the word goes up, the general has to speak to his troops. Now, it might be some BS he give you, but still, he must address the issue, because morale is very important to have when you are dealing with people. If the morale is low, you can't win battles. Somebody said you can't question. Of course you can question. I've questioned a lot. You can ask a question. In military, they say, well, you can't question the commander in chief, the president of the United States. You can't question him. Look, I'm talking about the fact that when you have those that are above you and things are not right, you have a right to ask questions. Even the little organization ADDI, it ain't serious when it comes to like the military, where lives are on you have to go out to wars and stuff, unless your leader is sending you into a war. Dr. Arikana is sending you into a blazing, burning house. I'm not lying. Ask the president. He's trying to fight off terrorists in his country. And they just demolished a coup attempt just back in April. But since he's been in office, I think there's been 3 attempts. And guess what? You don't think the French is sending weapons and funding for people to rise up and take him out? France needs them. France needs them bad. You don't think for one moment that a European's going to let a black man get over on him and take away his wealth? Come on, y'all. Let's be sensible if you know history at all. This is a this right here is this right here is just, you know, my experience and my opinion and views on this situation. So if y'all feel as though, for those who are members and faithful and all right there, do what you do. Do what you do. Thank you, Elder. Do what you do. But for me, in my house, hey, when I hear the voice talk, I hear the voice talk. Others, it's on them. But anyway, family, thank you very much coming in. I had to say my 2 cents. I had to put my warning out. I had to bring the education to the people so that if you're traveling, look, for those, I've counseled many of people because, yes, my time is limited and I'm a very busy man and I'm traveling around the world and doing my husband thing with my wife and, you know, family thing. My son is here with me in Africa, his first time talking about, I'm trying to sway people from coming to Africa and I'm trying to get my family to come over to Africa, you know, but go black to Africa at gmail.com, set yourself up a consultation. I've been to 34 African countries. If you want to know, in my opinion, what countries that might fit you, I can share that with you. But I'm not going to sit by the wayside and just try to collect money off of people and not be concerned about their safety and their security. I'm just not that type of person. No, not at all. So with that, family, this is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. I am out.